Hey everyone, it's Kerri-Ann from Kerri-Ann's Cravings. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm sharing with you how I made my version of the Jamaican stew peas with salted pigtails and smoked meat, all simmered in some delicious coconut milk. Traditionally you'll add pigtails or some salt beef or fresh beef, but adding the salted pigtails and smoked meat, that's a whole nother level of flavor. Now my smoked meat of choice for this recipe is usually smoked oxtail or turkey wings, but neither was available, so I grabbed the smoked pork neck and got to cooking. Now if this sounds good to you, stick around and let's get cooking. So I'm starting out by adding my unsoaked red kidney beans to my Dutch pot. I will leave in the video description instructions on how you can pre-soak your beans before cooking. Next I'm adding some fresh garlic. I'm adding some fresh thyme, and I'm also going in with some fresh scallions. Then I'm going to add some pimento seeds for some added flavor. Next we're going to add 8 cups of water to our Dutch pot and turn our stove onto a high flame. So these are my smoked pig necks. This is what it looks like. I was able to purchase these in the meat aisle of my local grocery store. So I'm not using the entire pack for this recipe. I'm only taking out a few pieces since I'm going to have the pigtail as well. So I'm going to take out what I need and then store the rest in my refrigerator. Lastly, I'm going to rinse these in cold water and cut them into bite-sized pieces so they can cook evenly and quickly. So now I'm adding my pork necks with my pot of peas, and I will allow this to cook for 45 minutes on high heat. And as this cooks, you also want to check it and stir it periodically just to ensure that your peas are not sticking or burning. So now while our peas and our smoked meat are being cooked, we're going to go ahead and prep our salted pigtails. Now the salted pigtails can be found in the meat aisle of your grocery stores as well. They're usually in a bucket of brine on the floor. You'll also find this in the butcher shops in your Caribbean neighborhoods. So I'm going to cut these into bite-sized pieces and also give them a nice rinse in some cold water. So I'm going to place this in a pot of water and allow it to come to a boil and cook for 10 minutes. Then we're going to throw off the water, and then we're going to do this a second time. So we'll do this 2 times to remove majority of the salt. You see all that cloudiness in the water? That's just the salt being extracted from our pigtail. And all that white stuff on top, that's just fat deposits from the pigtail. So now that we've pre-cooked our pigtails and removed majority of the salt, we're going to go ahead and rinse this just to get rid of all that fat deposit that's floating around, and then we're going to add it to our pot with our peas and our smoked pig neck. So now we're going to add our pigtails to our pot. So we're at that 45 minutes mark, and I did go ahead and check my peas for tenderness off camera. It's pretty easy to check. Just take a few beans from the pot and use a fork and smash them. And if it smashes easily where the white is exposed, then you know your beans are cooked. If not, then you need to give it a few more minutes and then check again. I'm also going to go ahead and add my coconut milk. For this recipe, I'm using a coconut milk powder. So I'm diluting my milk powder in some warm water. And I will leave the instructions on how I do this in the video description for you. You can also go ahead and use 1 can coconut milk, or you can extract the coconut milk from the real coconut. The choice is yours. It is completely up to you. So now we're going to reduce our flames to medium and cover our pot and allow this to cook down for 10 minutes. So while that's cooking, we're going to go ahead and prepare our dumpling dough to make our dumplings. So I'm going to be using 2 cups of flour and a little less than a cup of water. And I'm going to be making what we call spinners, which are dumplings that are look cylindrical, as well as I'm going to be making some really tiny flat dumplings. So I'm using my fingers like you see here, and I'm creating a well in the middle of my dough. Then I'm going to add my water slowly. So you're going to keep adding water and mixing in your flour until you've arrived at a soft but non-sticky dough. Now sometimes the dough might be a little bit sticky, so don't be afraid to dust a little flour on there and just continue to knead until you have the consistency you're looking for. And here's the consistency of our dough that we're going to use to make our dumplings. So now we've arrived at that 10-minute mark, and let me tell you guys, this smells incredible. It smells so good. There's nothing like cooking with coconut milk. So now we're going to start forming our dumplings. So we're just going to pinch off about an inch piece of dough, and we're going to make some spinners. And all that is rolling that dumpling between your palm into a cylindrical shape and then dropping them in your pot. So I'm going to do a combination of spinners and small flat dumplings, but I'm going to make the spinners first and then we'll get to making the other ones. So we're going to use the same size dough for the flat ones, and we're pulling the edges into the center like I'm doing there, and then dropping them in the pot. And then we're going to keep making these until we've used up all our dough. So then I'm going to add some more fresh thyme and scallions, as well as 2 Scotch bonnet pepper to our pot. So then I'm going to add some crushed pepper flakes just for a little spicy kick. I am not going to burst the Scotch bonnet pepper because I just cannot handle the heat. But if that's your thing, you can go right ahead and either burst it or cut up pieces and toss them in. So now we're going to cover and allow it to cook for 10 minutes. So now we're at that 10-minute mark, and we want to go ahead and give everything a quick stir just to make sure nothing is burning or sticking in our pot. We definitely don't want that. So we're going to go ahead and give it a quick taste for salt. I'm going to go ahead and add some fresh black pepper. Next I'm going to add a little bit more red pepper flakes for just a little bit more of a kick. Then I'm going to follow that up with some all-purpose seasoning just to bring up the taste a little bit. So now we're going to cover our pot and reduce our flames to low and allow this to simmer for 5 minutes. Look how creamy that is. If you love stew peas, you're definitely going to love this recipe. And here you have it, my loves, a super delicious pot of stew peas with salted pigtails and smoked pig neck, all simmered in some delicious coconut milk. Let me know in the comments what else you would add to this. As always, I want to thank you for tuning in and hanging out with me today, and I hope that you will give this recipe a try, as well as share it with your friends and give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed to our channel, I invite you to subscribe now and hit that notification bell. As always, one love and stay blessed, my friend.